Hey, I'm Mike.
And I'm Ben.
And we are Smoky Boys Barbecue. Today we're back in San Antonio, Texas, and we are at Barbecue Outfitters and coming to you with another international cook straight from France.
Yeah, today we're doing duck à l'orange, which is exactly what it sounds like, duck with an orange sauce on top. It's gonna be really good.
We've never done duck, we've never done à l'orange, but we're ready for it. Let's get smoking. Smoky Boys Barbecue is brought to you by Serve You Home Pros, San Antonio's backyard experts.
All right, we're gonna get this duck prepared. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out all of the insides. So this one has all the giblets, the neck and all that. You can definitely use this to make a nice gravy or some duck stock. So we got all that pulled out. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna poke some holes. I'm gonna use our thermometer here. Just at the very end, you don't wanna poke into the meat because it will dry out. You're just trying to poke into the skin and a little bit of the fat, mostly to help crisp up the skin. So we're gonna just do some little pokes. Get down on the legs as well. But you wanna stay on the breast side and on the legs. Now we're gonna take our boning knife. So there's a huge chunk of skin up here that we don't really need. It's just gonna be rubbery. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut that off. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make some really shallow slits just across the skin and the fat here. So you don't want to cut in the meat, same as the pokes that we were doing. And there you go, you can see all of those cuts right there. Didn't go down into the meat, just across the fat there. We're gonna trim up a couple little pieces on the back end here, where there's just some excess. Maybe. I think that's about good. We're gonna tuck the wings in. And then the last thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna take off my gloves here, or actually one glove, and we're just gonna salt this. We're not gonna do any rubs or anything like that. Pro tip, always pour the salt into your hand and then salt from your hand onto whatever you're seasoning. Just makes it a lot easier to control how much. All right, flip this guy over. We'll have to tuck the wings back in again. Because we're doing the sauce, you don't need to go crazy heavy on any rubs or anything like that. You can do some pepper, but really, that's gonna be about it. We're gonna get this all prepped. We're gonna get this out to Mike, who's got the grill going. And we're gonna get this on and ready to roll. So this, all in all, took about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Super simple, super easy to do. Again, me and Mike have never cooked duck, so this is our first time. It's super simple to do, and you can do it yourself at home.
Action. Let's break down how we're gonna be using the big green eggs today. So we're gonna be using the XL and the Mini Max. We also have Fireboard out here today, and then also the Fireboard Drive. So what that is gonna do is actually get a fan inside of the big green egg and bring us up to temp. We can calculate that over the phone and be cooking at a regular temperature, a very even temperature the whole way through. Especially for duck, I think it's gonna be very important. So on the XL, we're gonna be cooking at 325 until the internal breast temperature of the duck is about 120 to 125. At that time, we're gonna let it rest for a little while, and then we're gonna throw it on the Mini Max. So our Mini Max is gonna be up in temp. We wanna crisp up that skin. We wanna render that duck fat. We're gonna also be using this to cook our sauce on today. So lots of variation as far as how you can utilize the Big Green Egg. Again, we've never done duck before or some a l'orange sauce. All of that's gonna be done on the Big Green Egg. We need to put a pan underneath the duck, and what we're gonna do is open up the Big Green Egg. We're gonna remove the grate itself, use heat gloves. We're gonna be putting a pan directly on the convector. And then in that pan, we have crushed up oranges, and we're gonna be using some chicken stock as well. So all of that is gonna give a little steam to the duck. It's gonna actually infuse a little more flavor. I think it's gonna turn out really well. So that's traditional roasting. So we're adding some chicken stock. We have some crushed up oranges in there. We're gonna put the grate right back on, and then we're gonna put the duck directly over it. Putting the grate right back on top. And here comes the star of the show. So we're doing the duck. Ben prepared it very, very nicely. Key thing to remember about any protein that you're putting on the grill is the way that you put it on, and we're gonna tuck these wings. The way that you put it on is essentially the way it's going to finish. So we're tucking the wings. We're getting everything nice and neat. We added a little bit of orange inside of the duck as well. We're gonna place our ambient temperature back on the grill so that our fireboard drive will give us an ambient reading. And then we're actually gonna be placing a protein temperature directly in the breast. So we're gonna go directly into the breast. And then lastly, we're gonna use some duck fat. So duck fat's gonna actually help render and then also help crisp up that duck skin. Don't use too much, just little spritz, and we are good to go. Now we're closing up the Big Green Egg. Again, we're cooking at 325 until we get an internal temperature on the breast of about 120 to 125. After that, we're gonna take it to the Big Green Egg Mini Max, or we're gonna finish it off. We're gonna get that skin nice and crispy. We're gonna render down that fat, and we're gonna taste some duck tonight, a l'orange style.
We're gonna make our sauce on the Mini Max here. So we're gonna start with our pan. We're gonna throw that on there, start warming up. And we're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. Did that without spilling a drop. Then we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now we wanna mix that up, and we want to let it go until it's brown. So it's a nice kind of reddish pink color. We want that sugar to caramelize a little bit in that vinegar. All right, with the heat, that sugar really disintegrated pretty quickly. So now we're just gonna let this sit for a minute or two, brown up a little bit. The next step after this browns is we're gonna add in our stock. So we're doing chicken stock. If you can find duck stock, definitely go with that just to keep it all uniform. All right, this is starting to turn a little bit brown. That's that sugar caramelizing in there. So now we're gonna start adding our stock. Mike used about half of this to do the under the duck in the grill. So we're gonna use the other half in here. So we're gonna add about 1/4 of it at a time. So that's about a 1/2 cup at a time. By adding it in sections, you're going to let it kind of combine before you add the next part versus adding it all at once. Now that we've got these ingredients combined in here, we're gonna let that come up to a simmer. And once it comes up to a simmer, then we'll start adding the orange into the pot. Some fresh squeezed orange juice in there. And then we're going to add some peels that we peeled inside. So we did some bigger peels here, which is what we're gonna throw in now, and then we have a little bit of zest that we'll throw in a little bit. Getting those orange peels in there, along with the orange juice, is really what's gonna start to pull out that orange flavor. Then we're gonna add some orange liqueur and some orange bitters in there, as well as some actual orange slices. So there's a lot of orange going in there. All right, this has been simmering for a few minutes here. So we're gonna take a little bit of our liquid, we're gonna dump it into this bowl. Throw that right back on the heat to keep it hot. And then we're gonna take 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, which I measured out here. We're gonna dump this in. And then we're gonna whisk this up. This is basically, if you dump the cornstarch right in, then it's going to get really clumpy and be really gross when you go to eat it. If you mix it in a little bit of the water or liquid when you are, getting ready to thicken it, then pour it in, it'll make it a lot smoother, a lot creamier. We're not really seeing any clumps in there. Looking nice and smooth, so we're gonna pour this back into the pot. This is really a really nice kind of orangish brown color. Looks really good. Now you don't want this sauce to be super thick. It is definitely a thinner sauce. It'll be a little bit sticky due to the sugar and all the citrus that we're putting in, but it will be a thinner sauce. We're gonna add 3 tablespoons of our orange liqueur. Again, with all the orange stuff, you're just layering on flavors. Then we're gonna take some orange bitters. Great for an old fashioned. We're just gonna do probably like 5 dashes. That's all combining nicely. And we're gonna add in just a touch of salt as well, just kind of to taste. Last up is gonna be the butter, but we're gonna basically add about a tablespoon. That was about 3 tablespoons, but it's fine. This is gonna really make the sauce nice and creamy and kind of bring it all together. We're gonna let this reduce for just a couple minutes. Then we're gonna get this inside ready to pour on the duck.
Time to crisp up this duck, all right? So what we're gonna do is open this guy up. Right now we're about 130 on the internal temp of the duck breast. We are cooking at 400 degrees on the mini max. So what we're gonna do is put this on a higher heat. The goal here is to actually get that skin nice and crispy. Duck roasted up really nicely, but now we're just trying to finish it off. Let's get this closed up. Again, we're hitting 400 degrees on the mini max. We've roasted on the XL. We're just doing a little bit of finishing. We're gonna leave that on for about 15 minutes or so. We should be nice and crispy. We should be golden brown. We're gonna take that inside. We're gonna put some l'orange sauce on it, and then we're gonna taste this duck. I'm excited about it. It's gonna be one of my first times trying duck à l'orange, and I think it's gonna come out great. Let's see if this duck is ready to go. Oh, she is looking brown. Le colon est fini. Oui, oui. I think that means, let's go try this thing. Ooh, yes. That is gorgeous. Beautiful brown. Looks completely done. Look at this cook, man. I'm ready, are you? Le colon est fini. Vamos.
get into the origins of duck à l'orange. First versions of it are Italian, actually. They're in a cookbook from Tuscany from back in the 14th century was the first known written version of it. And then a lot of people think that it came over to France. Catherine de Medici was married off to a French prince, and she brought all her cooks and all that, and they popularized the dish in France, and it became one of the dishes a lot of people know as a French dish. Catherine de Medici's cooks were actually brought over a lot of what is now known as French cooking. Crepes, bechamel sauce, French onion soup. It's kind of crazy that all of that was apparently Italian in origin. You don't have to push too hard, especially if you're using a sharp knife. Just kind of let the knife guide you where to cut. You can sort of find the joints pretty easily and then just sort of pop them out. There's the other wing. Now for the breast, what you want to do is you're going to have your center bone there. See which side you're on. So we're on my left side. So we're just going to kind of keep trimming. Just let the knife kind of guide you down that bone. Man, this smells so good. I cannot wait to get the sauce on here and try this. We may try a piece just sort of by itself here too. So there's one of the breasts. We're gonna go right on the other side of the bone. Ooh, it's still hot. And again, just let the bone kind of guide your knife. Nice and simple. And there's our 2 duck breasts.
We are at the tasting table, and I honestly can't believe we made this. That looks incredible, man. I've never had duck à l'orange. The smell coming from this table is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let's dig in.
Yeah, before we taste,
Oh, yeah.
Go check us out on socials, TikTok, Instagram. Check out our YouTube shorts. There's a lot of cool stuff over there that's only going to those places, so go check it out.
Thanks for supporting the channel as
Yep.
always. Let's try some duck à l'orange, man.
Get a little dip.
Little dip. And some l'orange sauce. Oh my God, dude, that's incredible. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go. Dude, I don't even want chicken anymore. Just ridiculously good. Oh my God.
Yeah, that fat render, you really get that extra kind of butteriness.
Wow.
Obviously a lot more flavor in duck than chicken. It's all dark meat. You
This-
can see here with, obviously you got the meat, but then this nice like fat cap across the top. Something you would see in, steak or,
Beef, yeah.
yeah.
This is an incredible dish, man. I'm
One
like,
one of our best.
Wow.
I'm happy with this.
it's a lot of fun. Y'all need to try this at home.
Yeah, definitely check this one out.
One more. Oh, this is a big one. Yeah. Keep the smoke rolling and the flavor flowing. Until next week, here's the duck à l'orange. Woo! Yes. Wow.